Let me ask you, Mr. Bertolino, from the very beginning, the public has been watching this case unfold, starting with Gabby's disappearance. I think everyone understands your client's right to stay silent, to not talk. That silence does not presume guilt. However, in the court of public opinion, the last few weeks have been difficult. Legally, I understand that argument. But ethically, did they ever consider reaching out to the Petitos, reaching out to law enforcement in help finding Gabby?
Unfortunately, Marnie, I can't have that conversation with you at this time.
Why is that?
I just can't. It's not the appropriate time to have that conversation.
But it's an ethical conversation, not just for the parents of Brian, but for you as an attorney. At any point when they were searching for Gabby, did you feel the need, compelled to help?
I can tell you that at this moment in time, Chris and Roberta Laundrie just learned that their son's remains were identified. He is now no longer with them. At some point in time in the future, there may be more information as what I felt, what the Laundries felt, what we, quote, ethically, thought about the case. Now is not the time to do that. You've asked me the question 2 or 3 times, and I'm going to respectfully tell you again, it's not the time to discuss that.
Have the Laundries reached out to the Petito family at all, and has the Petito family reached out to them in recent days?
The Laundrie family has not reached out to the Petitos, and to my knowledge, the Petitos have not reached out to the Laundries.
What are the Laundries' plans now?
At the moment, they're going to grieve their son.
And then what?
Marnie, I don't mean to be rude, and I know you have a job to do. They were just told less than a half hour ago that their son is deceased. Do you think that they really have thoughts on anything other than that their son is no longer with them?
No, and I respect their privacy, and I can't begin to imagine the pain that they're going through. I just know that so many of us have questions about what has happened, not just to Gabby, but to Brian. The nation has been watching this search for him, what turned into a manhunt across the country. And so we are curious. We want answers. You're the closest to the family, and I want to know how they're doing. I want to know what their plans are.
Marnie, I don't have any information on the plans that the Laundries have. And I want to tell you, because I've got to stop myself, I'm taking some of my anger and frustration out on you. As you may know, I knew Brian Laundrie since he was an infant, since he was a small child. This is hard. I've shed a tear or two today as well. I've shared that with the Laundries. The fact that the public is continuing this nonsensical, we're hiding him in the beginning. We've fed him food. We've communicated with him. And every platform, because you hear that if you have a platform, you should use it for the good. You respect that they have the right to remain silent. But there are people in your position, maybe not you, but in your position, that never once pushed back on these so-called experts and pundits who did nothing but say, this is immoral, this is unethical. Somewhere along the line, somebody with a platform, someone in your position should have said, hey, you know what? Back off. This is America, and in our system of justice, they have the right to remain silent. So I'm kind of a little perturbed that now I have to go back and explain how we didn't plant remains and personal items in a preserve when the upper echelons of law enforcement is telling everyone this is legit by their actions, by their words, and yet we have to now go back and somehow educate John Q. public? And you guys perpetrate this. You put it forth and you
Well, I'm going to stop you right there. I have said a number of times that the Laundrie parents have every right to remain silent, whether the public agrees with that right or not. But our search is for answers, and that is where it will continue to lie. Answers not only in what happened to your client, Brian Laundrie, and what happens with his parents moving forward, but also what happened to Gabby. And there are many who are concerned that we may never know what happened in this case, given what has transpired today.
As I've said now for probably the fourth or fifth time, today is not the day to discuss that.
You know what I want to ask you? I want to ask you, Mr. Bertolino, you mentioned that you have known Brian for years. That is one thing that we have not been able to get much on in the last month and a half. Who is Brian Laundrie? What kind of person was he? What do you know about him that you're willing to share?
Marnie, I know him as the child of a friend of mine. I didn't go to school with him. I didn't hang out with him. He's 30 years my junior. So to ask me what type of person he is, I'm sure he was a good kid, just like every parent says their kid is a good kid. When all is said and done, I'm pretty much, how shall I say, not going to discuss anything further other than what type of child Brian was, other than to say, Brian is no longer with us. The family is mourning, and I would hope that we could, let them mourn, let them grieve, and maybe somebody besides myself could come out and say, hey, protesters, go away tonight. Could you do that?
I just have a couple more questions. Have you spoken with Cassie?
Not today, but I have spoken with her and Jim recently, yes.
Do you plan to continue to represent the family moving forward, and do you see a need for that?
I will be representing the family as long as it's necessary.
Anything else you'd like to share and clarify about what has happened?
No, I just want to apologize to you as an individual for my anger and frustration, but I've been dealing with this all day, and I've put out some statements that this is nonsense. And to hear it come from a platform like yours, that the question is even posed. I get that the internet is a whole different world, that the Twitter world and the people who play in that world, I understand that they may have a need for this. But for more respectable organizations to do the same thing, I find troubling.
What do you find so troubling about the public's curiosity and search for answers?
Curiosity and search for answers is one thing. Coming up with completely off the charts in the scheme of reality propositions of literally planting evidence, planting articles, even planting the remains, it's just beyond compare. That's what I find troubling.
So just one more thing about that, and I promise I will let it go. Did your clients go out to the reserve prior to yesterday morning on their own at any time?
Yes, they did. Back in early September, I shouldn't say early September, mid-September, which would have been the 14th and the 15th.
Were they there with Brian or with authorities?
No, they were there on their own. That was the day after Brian had went for the hike and didn't come home.
And what did they do there?
They walked around the trails looking for Brian initially.
Is this when they picked up the car?
On the second day, they picked up the car, correct.
Did they find any items or anything that led them to believe that he was out there at that time?
Beside the car? No.
All right, Mr. Bertolino, we appreciate your time. I know this is a difficult day for many, including you. We thank you for giving us a moment to talk about it.
Marty, once again, I want to apologize to you because I don't mean to take my frustration out on you. You are the first person I've spoken to since I've learned the news. And, I'm upset, I'm angry. And for the last 4 hours, I've been dealing with, I have to just call it nonsense.
Well, I'd like to extend an invitation to you to come back on when you're ready to share more, and also to Brian Laundrie's parents when they're ready.
Good enough, Marty. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.